The alien woman saved the human child. Years later, she returned to marry him. The war had ended years ago, but the stories lingered. On a remote colony planet called Velen 9, where the Earth Federation once clashed with the Thalari Empire, people still whisper about the day an alien woman broke all laws of war to save a small human boy. His name was Kael Rowan. He was 6 years old. His parents had died in an orbital strike. Soldiers retreated. Fire spread across the plains. The boy ran from the flames, crying, until he collapsed in the middle of a scorched field. No one came for him, except her. She appeared like a ghost out of the smoke. Silver armor cracked and stained, skin a pale violet, and eyes like glowing moons. She was Thalari, tall, regal, fearsome. She knelt beside him, and when the boy screamed in terror, she pressed a hand to his chest and whispered softly in a language he didn't know. Her voice, though alien, calmed him. Then she carried him across enemy lines, across fire and storm and death, to a Federation medpost. She handed him the stunned human soldiers and said only 2 words in rough standard. "He lives." Then she turned and vanished. They never saw her again, but Kael never forgot. Years passed. Kael grew strong, educated, curious, and haunted. He studied every scrap of information about the Thalari, learned their language, trained as a xenolinguist and diplomat, not because he was assigned to, because he wanted to, needed to. He had one question no file could answer. Why had she saved him? The Federation called the Thalari ruthless, but she had shown him mercy, kindness. He remembered her face, sharp yet noble, her gaze, piercing, unreadable. She had given him life, and taken a piece of his heart with her when she disappeared. Now he was 22. The Federation and the Thalari had signed a fragile peace. Trade routes reopened, embassies formed, and Kael was assigned as a cultural liaison to the Thalari capital ship orbiting over Velen 9. His heart pounded as he stepped aboard. Thalari eyes followed him, tall, graceful warriors and scholars, cold expressions, curious stares, but none of them were her, until she walked into the chamber. She wore ceremonial robes instead of armor. Her hair, once battle-wild, was now woven with silver bands. But her eyes, those pale moonlit eyes, were exactly the same. Kael froze. She looked at him and smiled. "You have grown," she said, her voice smoother than he remembered. "You remember me?" Kael's throat tightened. "Of course I do." She stepped closer. "Do you remember what I said when I left you?" "You said, 'He lives.'" She nodded. "I knew then that you were meant for something greater, that your life would reach beyond the war." He swallowed hard. "Why did you save me?" Her smile softened. "Because I saw not an enemy, but a child with eyes full of life. And because in that moment, I felt something I never had before." "What?" "Hope." Her name was Valara, a former Thalari commander. She had been exiled after the war for treason, disobeying orders, saving a human. Kael listened to her story over shared meals, long walks through Thalari gardens, and quiet nights under twin moons. She spoke with sharp wit, with pride, with sorrow, but always gently to him. Their bond deepened. And then one night, she said something that shook him. "I have come not just to see if you remembered me, but to ask you something." He looked up. "What is it?" She leaned close. "Kael Rowan, I would like to marry you." The air left his lungs. "What?" he whispered. "I made a vow that day," she said. "If the child lived and became strong, if he remembered me, not as a savior, but as someone who saw him, then I would offer him my life in return, a bond deeper than debt, a future built not on war, but on the memory of mercy." He stared at her, stunned. "You mean it?" "I do." Kael's heart pounded. But I'm human. And you? I know, she said. We are different. But my people accept this union. They saw what I saw. And your federation may accept in time. He took her hand, gently. I've waited my whole life to see you again. I didn't expect this. But, he smiled, I think I already knew the answer the day you carried me through fire. Their wedding was unlike any the galaxy had seen. Valerie and human guests stood side by side on the green terraces of Vela 9, where war once scorched the earth. Two worlds once divided, now joined by a bond of loyalty, memory, and something that had quietly grown into love. Kael wore a ceremonial robe bearing the crest of both peoples. Violara stood beside him in silver and violet, proud and radiant. When they exchanged vows, they did so in both languages, his voice steady, hers like music. I was once a warrior, she said. Now I am yours. I was once a child saved by a stranger, he said. Now that stranger is my heart. Some scoffed, some doubted, but most believed because they saw the truth, that something rare and beautiful had emerged from the ruins of war, that mercy could blossom into love, that the past, no matter how broken, could lead to healing. And when Kael held her hand, he didn't see an alien anymore. He saw the woman who saved his life and came back for his heart.